McClellan Ranch Park was named after the landowner, and this is supposed to be where De Anza came through. This plaque was dedicated much later, and it sits on a big boulder in the Monte Vista High School parking lot to commemorate De Anza coming through that area. The Bear blacksmith shop stood at the crossroads, Cupertino Crossroads, in the old days. Also, the Enoch Parish Tank House was moved down to McClellan Ranch. There is Blackberry Farm, and that's where Elisha Stevens' cabin was. Louis Stockelmeyer was Cupertino's first formal historian, and he's the one who researched the entire De Anza trail through this area. The Stevens Creek Market was started by Nellie Quinterno and Zorka Piketty in the early 1940s. And then Nellie married Gordon Beckstrom after World War II, and they ran the store for decades. The market was the last place for people to buy groceries on their way up to Stevens Creek Dam for picnics. The palm trees on Palm Avenue are very old. They're probably 140 years old, maybe 150. They were planted by John T. Doyle. John T. Doyle's 1886 four-story Las Palmas winery was marked by the double row of California fan palms off Foothill Boulevard, which Doyle planted in 1882. Currently, they are designated as protected trees. The Nathan Hall Tank House was built in the 1870s and is the last remaining structure from Nathan Hall's Victorian-style residential homestead. Nathan Hall was one of Monte Vista area's earliest settlers. The creamery, that was what it was called when I was in school back in the 50s and 60s, popular gathering spot for teenagers. Sam and Hazel Goldstone variety store, and it says oldest commercial building in Monte Vista, built in the early 1900s. Hazel Goldstone ran the variety store in the front, and Sam Goldstone's barbershop was in the back. And Paul and Eddie's, that was a grocery store, and it said Elizabeth Ingalls Grocery represents the original Monte Vista business community. The building now serves as a bar and has undergone major renovations since it was first built. The Baldwin Winery, so that was Cupertino's first millionaire, Charles Baldwin. It says he purchased approximately 137 acres in Cupertino in what is now the De Anza College campus. The Petit Trianon and guest cottages are currently on the National Register of Historic Places. Charles Baldwin had a home built for his new bride in 1887 on what is now De Anza Community College property. The home was designed by San Francisco architect Louis Polk, who was a very famous architect. So Petit Trianon is now the California History Center. So the first church buildings were the Union Church and St. Joseph's Catholic Church. And then Piketty Winery is one of the original wineries. That's a very old winery. It dates from 1885, and the house was built in 1882. And then they built the larger residence in 1886. So the Piketty family owned it until 1976. So the old Collins School is the only one of the original one-room schoolhouses that is still standing. And this one is. is on Homestead Road. It was built in 1885, and the house was designed by San Francisco architect Louis Polk, who was a very famous architect. So In 1869, on a portion of the ranch once owned by Lemuel Perry Collins. And the first Collins school was replaced by a more modern one-room school on the same site. And then the Crossroads, Cupertino Crossroads, was dominated for many years by the Cali Mill, and now it has the Juniper Hotel. There's a sculpture there, and they have Cali Plaza, named after the family, because it was, the Crossroads was once the site of their blacksmith shop, the Cupertino Home Union Store, the Union Church, the Odd Fellows Hall, the West Side branch of the post office, and Cali Brothers Feed and Grain Mill, and other long-gone establishments.